What is a popular misconception about self-defense? What was a great show that had a terrible finale? Ah, yes, I can already see the Game of Thrones mentions now. What does the USA need most? Zombie Teddy Roosevelt. Sure, he might have been a good president back then, but like, y'all, he would not understand what a cell phone is. More informed voters. I agree, but unfortunately, both ends of the spectrum, they just like to lie to the stupidest sides of the voter base, so we'll never really get good info. A timeout followed by a nap, and then a good long talk about what they did. Then a snack and a little encouragement. We need more cowbell. Now wait a second, they might be onto something. Mandatory critical thinking courses. Now wait a second, you first want my child to learn about CRTs or whatever, and now you want me to think? Common sense. I think that would be good everywhere. An alien invasion to unite them. At least something to like make people realize that we're all in this together, and we shouldn't be trying to kill each other. You invented the what if machine, and can watch any what if scenario. What do you watch first? I would want to see the very near future of different decisions I want to make. I would prob get addicted to the machine and go insane. What if I never fell in the freezer doodle and never came to the future dinghy? What if around 550 more people in Florida had voted for Al Gore in 2000? Note that I'm not a rabid Al Gore fan. That said, it's a tiny margin of error with a ton of cascading effects that may have made the world a very different place. I destroy the machine because it would cause the biggest anxiety attacks of my life. It really is just a FOMO machine, huh? What if people made good decisions with their lives? You know, I don't know if it would show anything because nobody's ever done that. What if Bender was really giant? We already did that one. I know, I want to see it again. What if Jessica didn't dump me? Jessica! What would you do as a cat? I mean, I definitely try and sleep as much as possible, be an asshole for no reason, nom some wet hair, and demand attention constantly. Find the saddest looking goth baddie because that is just an unconditional, limitless amount of love and affection. Need on some b***s like my cats do to my wife. Alright, slow down there, horn dog, or I guess a horn cat. Meow! Meow! Oh my god, feed it. Oh my god, what are you doing? Sleep in sun. You know, you can do that as a person right now, right? Try and befriend my own cat, Dovahkiin, and play together until I get turned back into a human. Then I'll know what my cat likes. Gangsta cat name. Just hope that he doesn't ever actually learn the dragon tongue because you don't want him doing shouts around the house. Like, it's too much damage. Shit in a box. Again, you can do that as a person. I wouldn't advise it though. Look you dead in the eyes as I watch the panic set in as the glass of water gets slowly pushed off the counter. 3 a.m. zoomies. Why do they get so energetic at 3 a.m.? It's always 3 a.m. What is something making human beings dumber in general? Lead poisoning, possibly microplastics too. Oh, and don't forget about forever chemicals, giving celebrities more of a platform than scientists and intelligent people in general. But if I don't know what Zendaya's wearing to the Met Gala, then how am I supposed to live? 24-hour news shows. Fox News. TikTok. I will admit, yeah, TikTok is really just frying my brain, but God, I can't stop. Echo-chambered subreddits. Echo chambers of any kind, I'd say, doesn't have to just be Reddit. False information on social media. It takes really basic skills to understand what is fake and what isn't. Just like, please try and like do some digging of your own. Short vids causing shorter attention spans. I do agree, but God, those like half-second videos of like a fart sound just eliminate me. A genie appears and says they will give you anything you want in an amount equivalent to your body weight. What do you choose? $100 bills. I wish for a pile of legitimate 100 USD bills that is the same mass as my body weight to materialize in a space that is secure and currently accessible to me. There will be no empty space within the pile, but I will still be able to detach each bill without any damage to it and the other bills. The pile will behave like any other normal pile of money. Once a bill is removed from this pile, it will behave like a normal $100 bill. I can spend all the bills without any negative legal, financial, physical, or mental consequences. No one else will know about this pile. Looks like somebody went to genie school, really nailing down the details there. Saffron. Always saffron. I'm not entirely sure why, but alright, yeah. Printer ink. I never would have thought of this, but this is a really good answer, though you do need to specify printer ink cartridges because if he just spawns a bunch of of printer ink, you're gonna have a lot of cleaning to do. The hearts of my enemies. I'll eat each as the genie collects the next, thus gaining a little more weight. My hunger shall never be satiated. How many enemies do you got, my man? Jeez. I'd like my weight in antimatter. Antimatter has a value of $62.5 trillion per gram. I weigh 170 pounds, 77 kilograms. 4 quintillion, 819 quadrillion, 418 trillion, 940 billion dollars in total value. I think I said that right. Throw it right up on eBay. Everyone's saying antimatter, but who the f*** would you even sell it to? It costs 62.5 trillion per gram because you have to make it particle by particle in a giant particle accelerator, but it's not like it's useful for anything other than exotic physics experiments in today's world. We don't have power plants or spaceships capable of using it or anything. That is a good point. They were almost onto something with that infinite money glitch, but they can't sell it, so like, I don't know. Potato chips. I mean, at least you know what you want. A prospective partner. I'm not lonely. You are. Look, man, I didn't even say anything. Come on. Certificates of Apple stock. Hopefully they are valid because you don't want just, paper that means nothing. Adults of Reddit, what gift does your inner child want? A treehouse with lights and a comfy chair so I can hang out there for hours. An adult-sized ball pit to swim around in. A gift for my inner child. Maybe some sharp colored pencils / crayons, a really good coloring book, and the opportunity to use them at the coffee table while watching cartoons. Maybe even with some popcorn and a juice box. I was never super into Legos, but my brother was. I've always wanted to get him the Death Star. Get that feeling back of watching my bro super excited and then watching him make it. Aw, that one's really wholesome. I'm a simple man. Give me some shoes with lights in the soles. Also, I'm a simple man, but still jealous of the girl I saw recently with a tulle skirt with LEDs in it. I know these days I could probably get away with wearing it, but I just don't have the legs to pull it off. Don't doubt yourself. Go get that tulle skirt. You deserve it. The world that matches what I was sold as a kid. Wouldn't we all? Freedom from parenting my parents. Okay, so you see the easy step there is you just stop. You just don't anymore. Remote control monster truck. To this day, I look in every discount and thrift shop for one knowing I'll never actually use it. I mean, you might use it for like 30 minutes and then throw it in the garage and never think about it, but it's still worth it. Bunch of bubble wraps to pop. That's the cool thing about being an adult. You can just go to the post office and get a roll of bubble wrap just to pop it for fun. What is your favorite Christmas movie? Christmas Vacation. Absolutely a classic. Just don't think about Chevy Chase too much. Home Alone. Definitely a classic and definitely irresponsible parenting because how do you forget your child 3 times? Klaus on Netflix. I've been watching it every year. I still need to watch it because the animation looks beautiful. Bad Santa. Polar Express for some reason. LOL. Think it's the animation. I like Polar Express too. Yeah, it's a little creepy, but I like the story and the message. It doesn't feel like Christmas time until I've watched it. Definitely my favorite scene is when they Tokyo drift on the ice lake. It's just so cool. The Holiday 2006. Also, Last Holiday 2006. Realizing 2006 was a good year for holiday movies. Elf. He's an angry elf. Krampus. I still need to watch it because it does look like a goofy, weird horror movie for holidays, and it seems fun. Nightmare Before Christmas. People argue whether it's a Halloween or Christmas movie. I think it's more Christmas for plot reasons, but I can see both, honestly. Good choice. When I was younger, I'd go to my friend's house on Halloween and Christmas occasionally, and they would always have it playing, so it really does just fit both moods. What is your favorite Weird Al Yankovic song? Amish Paradise is always a classic. Albuquerque. Can't say I've actually heard that one. Trapped in the Drive-Thru. White and Nerdy. That was definitely on repeat on my iPod when I was younger. The Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota is the best road trip song of all time. Fat. I remember watching that as a kid on MTV and my dad laughing his ass off at the part where they are all running through the parking ramp. Camera keeps panning left and suddenly nobody's there. Pans back to the right and they are all out of breath. That moment always stayed with me. Gonna have to say eBay. Yep, that's the answer. That one right there. There it is. What age would you pick for the rest of your life? As a guy, I'd take 35. I was able to do most of the stuff I could still do in my 20s, but people took me a lot more seriously in my professional career in my mid-30s than they took me as a squeaky green 20-something-year-old. I was also never more ripped and fit at any other age than my mid-30s. 29, I think. I was at my peak physical form, had lost weight, and was doing Spartan races before my wife got pregnant. improvement. I still work out, but nowhere near as much as then, and my knees and elbows are starting to creak, and I have more pains than I did then. LOL. I'm 29 right now and feels like a pretty good place to pump the brakes. My skin is great. I feel pretty good most of the time, and I can still fit into the clothes I wore at 16. 6. A happy and carefree time with no responsibilities and no depression. 32 to 35. All ages will recognize you as an adult and take you serious. Also, your body hasn't started to decline. 26. Old enough to know better, still young enough not to care. Whatever one doesn't have back pain, so for me that would be anything under 15. Got it. 15. I peaked in high school. LOL. Well, at least you know that that's what happened. What is something beloved from the 90s that no longer exists? Grandma? Aw, bummer, dude. Come on. Pizza Hut buffet. Can't say I've ever seen one in real life, but I don't like the idea of other people with their grubby hands touching pizza that you then go get a slice from. Like, ugh. Video arcades and record stores. I used to love to hang out at the mall. I'd play games and meet people at the arcade. I'd browse CDs at the record store. I'd go to the bookstores too. Most malls had at least 2 or 3 record stores and bookstores. Now, most malls are barren wastelands and empty. Robin Williams. Blockbuster. I know by like today's standards, streaming is the norm, but come on, you can't beat the feeling of going to Blockbuster and finding something new. Rollerblades. I have seen skates come back, so hopefully we'll see the blades rolling in too. The good internet. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about back in the day when you could say slurs and not get in trouble? If so, seek help. Furbies. It almost seems like Hasbro just gave up after the Furby Connect underperformed. Did people unironically like Furbies? They always look so creepy to me. Viennetta ice cream cakes. Those might have been a little before my time because I've never heard of those. You get one wish. You can't outsmart it in any way, so no wishing for wishes or writing, etc. What is the wish? I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Oh, I can see how that could go, but what if you become the very best at getting stabbed a lot? Like, it's not good. I wish to have $100 million in my bank account. Ah, yes, and then the IRS rolls in and they take all of it. I wish for enough. Enough what? Well, whatever. I wish for the power to heal. Chronic pain sucks. Cancer sucks, etc. I would love to be able to bring relief for myself and others by being able to heal. There's gotta be some kind of drawback, I just can't think of what it would be. Well, then I wish to become the greatest sorcerer the world has ever seen, like Jafar. To have the power to read people's thoughts. I see that one backfiring where you just constantly hear everybody's thoughts, so you just like end up going crazy. One redo starting at the age of my choice. I wish to be omnipotent. That is all. Omnipotence. Omnipotence. I wish to be omnipotent. Look, if everyone's omnipotent, then nobody is. I wish to know the part of the dream we can't remember. What is the biggest oops in history? Chernobyl. Look, it was a misinput. Calm down. You calm down. The 6 nukes that have been, misplaced and never recovered. Fucking nuclear bombs. How do we just lose those? Yeah, like you would think we would be a lot more secure about those. Japan harassing the USA with Pearl Harbor. What do you mean harassing? It was a war. That amphibian that decided to crawl out of the water over 100 million years ago. Yeah, honestly, screw that guy. Now I get to wake up every day and go to work for a living. Like, ugh, kicking Hitler out of art school. I do wonder how the world would be different if Hitler became a artist rather than a dictator maniac. A kid fell into a gorilla enclosure. Not sure how, but that did change the course of history in an unprecedented way. Whoever spent Bitcoin on pizza in the early 2010s, they have to feel so dumb right now. I would consider the time I accidentally sent porn to my parents quite a big one. It's nothing they haven't seen, unless it was stuff they had never seen. When Eve bit the apple, look, a girl was hungry. You can't blame her. What is something that humans 100 years from now probably won't have? Privacy. We have it now? Paper currency, physical screens, gasoline, or a need for it, helium, dentures, fillings, braces, hearing aids, eyeglasses, paper mail, newspapers. The helium one might have thrown you off, but it is true. We are gonna run out of helium. Me. Not with that attitude. A lot of animal species. Fresh air, probably less water, and thus war will occur. You know, the consequences to humanity's actions is the only thing they'll have. Clean air and water. No, we'll probably still have clean air and water. It'll just be manufactured and you have to pay pay a premium subscription to have it pumped into your home every day. Zero microplastics in their body. Not so sure about that one. Rhinos, unfortunately. I do often forget that rhinos are on the extinction list. Southern Florida. It's getting so bad here, it won't be much of a loss. Any social skills at all? Oh, what, 'cause everybody be on their phone? Sure, yeah, just because phones exist doesn't mean people don't know how to talk to each other. Playgrounds made of steel, wood, and gravel. I would be interested to see what playgrounds look like in 100 years, if they even exist at all. What's the most important survival tip everyone should know? Learn how to swim. Even if you live in a place that isn't like really around water, it's still a good skill to have. If disoriented underwater, blow a bubble to find which direction is up. That actually, yeah, I've never heard of that. Yeah. Do not turn your back and run away from a bear. I like that you just left it at that. Like, okay, so I'll just stand there and stare at it then? If you are near a vehicle or landmark, stay with it. Wear bright clothing and do anything to increase visibility. A source of potable water is more important than finding a food source in the first few days. The sun and wind will kill you faster than starvation. I read that as potato water and got confused. That is important. You do still want some vodka. Drinking your piss doesn't help you hydrate. It's just a fun thing to do. Why would you say that? The most important survival tip is to stay calm and think clearly. The moment you let panic set in, that's when you die. Always let others know where you're going and when you intend to return before going on a hike, mountain climb, or any other adventure. That, and if you're going to meet a stranger you've been talking to online. Always tell someone where you're going, drop your location, give the address, just to make sure that somebody can get you if you disappear. If you see someone eat a strange mushroom and then die, it is best to assume that you shouldn't eat that mushroom. Okay, but what if they're just weak? Like it looks tasty. What brings you joy? Going to bed completely tired. No restless thoughts keeping me up. Music. Anytime you listen to music, it just makes it feel like you have a soundtrack to your own life. It's something. Money. Lots of money. In this economy, yeah, I can agree. A hug. That makes me feel good. I'm very hit or miss on hugs. Sometimes it's nice, other times, don't touch me. Dude, cashmere sweaters. I don't have a cashmere sweater to test this, but I'll give it a try at some point. Unexpected feet pics. A man of culture. Alright, bonk bonk. Go back to horny jail. Jesus. Watching kittens playing while eating Nutella pancakes. Oddly specific, but thank you for the detail. What would improve society if it never existed at all? Double standards? Florida? It's not so much Florida the state, more Florida the man. Mark Zuckerberg. It is so fascinating how much could have been prevented by just a simple condom. I do wonder what the repercussions would be, because if he never made Facebook, who knows if we'd have Twitter or anything else that's huge social media. Twitter. I don't know. I think Twitter is still valuable. I don't know if getting rid of it would improve society, but if Elon keeps doing what he's doing, it might be gone soon. 24-hour worldwide purge. Did people watch those movies? The end goal was that the purge is kind of bad. Restrictions around procreation. I kind of agree, but I need more details into it because it's kind of a gray area just saying it like that. What is one thing everyone can agree on? That there is nothing we can all agree on. I can agree with that, yeah. Everyone wants to be happy? I don't want peace. I want problems. Always. Mosquitoes suck. Aw, you just made the one mosquito lover out there upset. Reddit exists. I think you're crazy. I've never seen a Reddit, so we can agree that no one will agree with you on everything. Disagree. I've been bamboozled. That I wasn't at that one crime scene back in 2008, right guys? I have videos showing otherwise. Disagree. If you are reading this, you are reading this. Almost true, but I read it. Everybody else just heard it. Lasagna is pretty damn great. Now, you're getting into the subjective territory. That's, like, some people don't like lasagna. That someone will write disagree in response to this comment. Couldn't be me. I love your dedication, though. I'm honestly really impressed with how many comments you've replied to. Disagree. Redditors who speak multiple languages, what's a really good expression in your other language that people who speak only English are missing out on? The French expression to describe an arrogant person is, he farts too high for his ass. And I think that's just wonderful. That French saying means to be very lucky in French, but the literal translation is to have an ass full of noodles. Such a beautiful language. Ni mój cirque, ni mój malpé. Translates to, not my circus, not my monkeys. Yes, I don't speak Polish. No wonder I said it weird. Saudade in Portuguese is the feeling of missing something or someone. Also gender and objects. To me, the moon is a girl and the sun is a boy. I speak a native language and our terms for bless you directly translates to give it back to the white man. In Italian, there's this expression, amico delle guardie, which is literally friend of the cops, and it's used to describe someone who follows the rules in such a strict way that it's annoying, i.e. that one guy in class who tells on everyone. Interesting form of Italian ACAB, I like it. There's a Spanish term for to vomit that literally translated means to throw the potato. What's your go-to response when someone asks you, why are you so quiet? I have nothing to say. Shrug. Honestly, like, what do people expect from that question? Like, oh yeah, sorry, let me just now spout off a memoir real quick. I was raised by librarians. That's actually a good response. I might use that. Can't plan a murder out loud. Only a fool speaks when he has nothing to say. I like to let people talk who like to talk. It lets me know how full of they are. Damn, don't need to go for blood like that. I'm buffering. You know, that actually is what I'm doing 90% of the time. I couldn't get a word in around you. I'm just enjoying listening to everyone else. Makes them look like a bit of a for singling me out and totally hides that I actually tuned them out and was daydreaming. What shouldn't cost any money but be given freely to everyone? Uh-oh, my liberal tendencies are rising. Toilet access. I have seen in a couple cities there was like pay to use a public restroom and it's like, why? Why? Do you want people to piss in the street? Air for your tires from gas stations. Most places do have them for free. Clean drinking water in public areas. While I agree, I probably still won't use public water fountains because people are really gross. Period products. It is kind of crazy that women do not choose to do this, so why do they have to pay so much to, like, take care of it? What is the worst accidental text message you've ever sent? Got this moaning audio and decided to send it to my friend to prank them. Sent it to my family group chat instead. Oh god, that had to be a weird dinner. Many years ago, I drunkenly texted my now ex-boyfriend some sexy pics while at a party to show I was thinking of him, but I was smart and deleted everything after, in case someone got my phone. Except my boyfriend never got said photos. I texted them to someone else instead, and I have no idea who. Hope they liked college girl. Wait, those were from you? Email my HR a link to a porn site. Hopefully you didn't get fired? I don't know. I once texted my father, "Good morning, cutie." That was fun. I'm so in love with you. To my female boss. Meant for my awesome wife. That sucked. Send a screenshot of a chat with X to X. Oh, no. Oh, I mean, you're probably the bad guy then. Accidental nude to my cousin, and she sent one back immediately and thought it was hilarious. Nah, weird family you got there. What was your this won't work moment in a relationship? My ex-boyfriend had a habit of being 20 to 30 minutes late to everything. If we were leaving together, he'd make us both late. I started telling him the time for our reservations to events or restaurants 30 minutes before they actually happened. Breaking point was on the day he was an hour and a half late to the theater. We were watching Stronger, and he got mad when he showed up and I wasn't there since I left halfway through the movie. How do you fumble it so bad, my man? When she told me that I should spend less time with my kids and more with her, told her I had to go to the bathroom midway through dinner, left the restaurant and never spoke to her again. Good man! The empties in the bin after coming home from a shift. Asked her a million times to please not call me at work because I had been written up twice because of it. Called me while I was dealing with an angry customer saying she was in the hospital. I left the customer talking by himself only for her to tell me she was lying and just wanted to hear my voice. I would have gotten a restraining order on this one. Yeah, that's like psycho behavior to lie about something like that. When I found out he hired a PI to follow me around and take photos of me doing regular day-to-day stuff, going to work, to the store, to the gym. Oh man, you do not ever do that. No. What organization do you consider to be a cult despite not being one? Donda Christian Academy. Young Life. Oh my god. Yeah, I would say it is. I did it in high school and ooh, it's really creepy. Jehovah's Witness. I just can't imagine having the the energy to go door to door and trying to talk to people about Jesus. Like, that's a lot of energy I'm not willing to spend. Starbucks. It's a sugar addiction cult. Used to work there, and you'd have people come in 3 or 4 times a day for coffee, drive to other stores during the day, line up out the door at open for new cup/new drink launch, and God, those double star days. How I survived the double star days, I do not know. Disney. Somehow Disney just rewired people's brains to just forever give them money. Film actors/Hollywood industry. Celebrity culture is very strange, I will admit. Scientology, Jehovah's Witnesses, and K-pop groupies. Scientology kind of is a cult. Like, if you do any research into it, you'll find some stuff. Big Four accounting firms. CrossFit. Do people even do CrossFit anymore? I remember it being huge in like 2014, but like I have heard nothing recently. The troubled teen industry. Oh, 100%. While it may not be exactly culty, I mean, because I haven't experienced it, but it's fully predatory on parents who just don't know how to deal with their depressed child. Alcoholics Anonymous. A lot of rehab groups I've noticed really force like a religious aspect to it, which is very creepy. What was a great show that had a terrible finale? Ah, yes, I can already see the Game of Thrones mentions now. Dexter. But aren't they like revamping it, so maybe they're gonna try and fix it? True Blood. Is that one about vampires and stuff? I don't know. There is no 9th season of Scrubs. 100% this. 8 seasons? That's all, folks. How I Met Your Mother. I simply just don't watch the final episode when I rewatch. That 70s Show. The entire last season is not great, but even the last episode, they only brought Topher back for 2 minutes or less of screen time. He was just like, this show, I'm getting the Spider-Man money, and made no real effort to complete the show in a meaningful way. If the main character gets replaced or leaves, end the show. Looking at you, Witcher. Oh yeah, they're trying to change Henry Cavill to like one of the Hemsworths. Like, come on, no, don't do that. What are you doing? Probably not the best example, but it's still an example, so whatever. The last season of Thomas the Tank Engine felt nothing like the originals. Not because it's CGI, but the writing felt like it was made for some generic kids show. What's surprising to me is that this season's writers had plenty of experience with Thomas before, and they made great episodes in the past. But with the exception of one writer's episodes, they all felt bland and not like Thomas. The previous head writer's absence really shows. Sounds like whoever was writing the last season of Thomas, they were some real diesels. What is a popular misconception about self-defense? A 1-hour self-defense seminar will do f*** all for you. It requires a lot of time and energy to commit the techniques to muscle memory. Also, they must be practiced in a live setting against a resisting opponent. Yeah, every single self-defense video I see, the attacker in the scenario never like fights back when the person's trying to disarm them. They just let it happen, and that's not gonna happen in real life. Firearms are great self-defense tools, but the number of idiots walking around who have never been trained on using them is terrifying. Go to a range and try to hit a target with a handgun. Not so easy, is it? Now imagine there's a person threatening your family. It's dark and you're half asleep. Now you understand why guns are very dangerous in untrained hands. That sales guy at your local store should have insisted you also sign up for a course. I think one common misconception for people who watch videos and think they're learning self-defense is that the person assaulting you isn't gonna stand still and not react while they perform whatever technique they prefer. Dynamic self-defense is significantly more complicated than just learning a few moves on a willing partner. Yeah, exactly. Like, the attacker's gonna do more than just stand there. The most effective self-defense tactic is being able to fight. The actual most effective self-defense tactic is being able to run faster than your attacker. I think a lot of people overestimate, I'll just punch him in the face, as a means of thinking they'd be good. Frankly, you'll probably not be able to land a square punch, and honestly, if you do, you're probably not gonna do as much damage as you think. Like, the one-shot knockout blow probably isn't in the cards for an untrained person. Not saying it's not possible, but that shouldn't be your only line of defense. That just because you've seen it on TV/movies doesn't mean you'll know what to do if it happens to you. Take a class, learn the basics. But I've watched enough anime, I can go Ultra Instinct. That you can defend yourself. It is a lot harder than anyone would really think. Well, that's gonna do it for today, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Brandon, and I'll talk to you another day. Bye! Hoo hoo!